Hey everyone, this is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you. All right, welcome to another episode of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, episode 144. I'm Charles McKay, aka Charlie the Plug, where connections matter. We're about bringing people together, connecting people with resources, with opportunities, and exposing our audience what we call Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship and community involvement. Welcome to those who are watching us live on our platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So shout out to episode number 144. So welcome. Happy Monday to everyone. It is the signs of spring. Hopefully everybody's recovered from that hour of sleep you may have lost as we spring forward here in Michigan. The sun is out and the weather is starting to change. So I'm excited about the spring. I enjoy spring and summer. I get a chance to pull out my bike. Pulled out my bike yesterday, not a motorcycle, just a regular bike, get my exercise on because health is wealth. But hopefully you're enjoying this evening. And if you find value in what we're doing, please like, subscribe to the channel. Show the algorithm that positive, informative, impactful content is celebrated on social media too. So like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you have questions for our guests or our topic, please put in a chat. I try to recognize comments and questions. And again, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're watching the replay, we definitely thank you for tuning in and supporting independent media. Before I go into our topic and introduce our guests, I want to highlight our sponsor for this podcast. The Detroit Metro Plug podcast, episode 144, is brought to you by our sponsor, Mr. Silas William, a local real estate agent with Community Choice Realty. There's various programs going on in the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan for first-time home buyers, grant programs you may be eligible for. So you can take advantage of that. If you're in the market for a new home, maybe you're looking to relocate to a different area, you have a young family, you want better schools, maybe you need something bigger, or you may be looking for an investment opportunity. I want you to consider our sponsor, Silas William. So are you ready to unlock the door to your dream home, whether you're a first-time buyer or looking for the next perfect place? Silas Williams with Community Choice Realty, Inc. is here to make the process smooth and stress-free with expert guidance, a personal touch, and a commitment to helping you find the right home. Silas is a realtor you can trust. Call or text him at 586-251-7252. That's 586-251-7252, or send an email at silas.williams@gmail.com. Again, silas.williams@gmail.com, because your home is just a key turn away. So thank you for our sponsor. You can find his information on the ticker banner through this episode. Okay, so we're going to be talking about tonight. We got a very special guest. I had a chance to interact with this guest. We took a course at the University of Detroit Mercy's social entrepreneurship program, and she was a student who added a lot to the conversations during our discussion. And she had requested to come on the podcast, and finally we got her on the schedule. And so we're going to be talking about building wealth through real estate. Our guest has many years of real estate experience. She's a broker. I'm going to bring her to the stage and do a formal introduction. I'm going to read a little bio for our guest. So our next guest for episode number 144 is a real estate broker. The name of her company is brokerage is Integrity Real Estate Solutions. The name wasn't chosen haphazardly. She believes in providing integrity in everything that she does. She has been in the business since 2005 and specialties consist of buyer agents, listing agents, property management, working with local and foreign investors, as well as commercial real estate. She has been a licensed realtor for 20 plus years, and during that period have helped people buy and sell homes, as well as assist people in finding commercial properties and selling commercial properties. She has also done property management, tenant placement, as well as become a Section 8 specialist. She's worked with global investors in finding property, placing tenants, and providing property management. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 144, none other than Charlene Johnson.
Good evening, Charlene. How are you?
Good. Thank you for being on this show. There's a lot to talk about because people, are looking for ways to diversify their finances. Some people, a stream of income could be from a job, whether it's a career or working at in Michigan, we got a lot of plant workers,
yes,
government workers working for the post office, or maybe the military, teachers, firemen, police, or your regular white collar job.
Absolutely.
But you got to find ways to diversify, whether it's putting money in your 401k, investing in the stock market, Bitcoin. We know the stocks are going up and down,
yes.
A lot of stuff going on with tariffs and threats of tariffs and all of that. And some would argue that real estate is something that can be consistent. Before we go into talking about our topic, just because this is your first time on the podcast, give a little bit of background of yourself. I read on your profile, you were a graduate of Murray Wright High School, right? Is that correct?
That's correct.
I'm assuming are you a Detroiter? You claiming the west side or the east side or
both?
You claiming both sides. So
both sides.
Give us a little background about yourself. If someone's to ask, who is Charlene, what would you tell them?
So as you stated, I graduated from Murray Wright High School, and then I went on to graduate from Wayne State University, where I received a bachelor's degree in business. I've always loved business, and business has been a great passion of mine. So I, at a young age, attended, I used to go down to the Internal Revenue Service where they had business classes. And I would attend the business classes at the Internal Revenue Service. So I'm probably aging myself. From Wayne State University, I went on and I got into the corporate arena. I worked for a Ford Motor Company. And I managed all the Jaguar dealerships in the United States. But at a young age, I had that entrepreneur bug. So I was in the corporate arena for about 7 or 8 years. And then I was like, this is not it. I'm not getting what I need. And so then I got into entrepreneurship as a realtor. And I learned I was up under some very strong people who had been in real estate for a number of years, who mentored me. And one of the strong areas they mentored me in was working with investors. So that's where I gained my start from working with investors.
All right, working with investors. Okay. And so you worked with Ford Motor Company, their car dealership division, or?
Yes. So what I did is I managed the incentive programs. So I launched all the incentive programs for the Jaguar dealership. So I did that for about 5 years and loved it. I really did. And it was awesome. But I still felt like, I was missing something.
Yes, you still feel like okay. Well, shout out to Wayne State. I'm a Wayne State alum, so shout out
Oh,
to the Warriors.
yes.
Right. So that's great. So so what was it about real estate that caught you? You know, sound like you had a good, at least a decent corporate job with Ford Motor Company. What was it about real estate that said, "Hey, let me try my hand at this"?
You know, one thing I really love is helping people.
Hmm.
I love doing that. I love helping people.
Yeah.
And so real estate gave me the opportunity to help people who were, you know, maybe looking to own their first home or people looking to lease.
Hmm.
And then also there were people who looked at real estate as an investment. So that's
Hmm.
where investors came in. And most investors, they either, you know, flip properties, which is to buy properties and then sell them for a profit, or to just maintain a portfolio, which also enables them to, you know, profit from that as well.
Yeah.
So it's something when you help someone attain a dream that maybe they felt they couldn't possibly accomplish, never thought that they would be able to do it, and you help them to make their dreams come true. And then also the freedom. I love the freedom that being in real estate provided.
Now, did you start part time when you was at Ford when you first got into it, or you just kind of?
No,
Yeah.
no, I didn't.
Oh
What
wow.
happened is, so Jaguar, it came a point in time where Jaguar split from Ford Motor Company. So I
Okay.
had the opportunity of either going on what the client wanted me to move to California, and I was like, no, I love California, but not to live.
Right.
Um, and then Ford Motor Company offered me another position. Well, I looked
Okay.
at that as it was my time. It was my time to transition into my entrepreneurship, something that I started out doing at a very young age.
Okay.
I remember having a paper route. I was the only girl that had a
Right.
paper route.
Yeah,
So
I had paper out too. Yeah.
so yeah, so that was something that was always a part of me. So this
Right.
was my opportunity. So I took a leap of faith, and I had
Did they
money.
offer you a buyout when they had that chance? That chance? Did you get
No, I didn't. I
severance
wasn't able to take the buyout at that. It
or
wasn't
severance?
offered at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that was on the. That was really either on the higher, like CEO level,
Hmm.
or within the automotive industry.
Okay.
So yes, I took a leap of faith and I said, okay, either I'm gonna do it, or I'm not gonna do it, and I did. I'm
Wow.
very adventurous. I don't have fear. There's never been a fear
Okay.
inside of me, so I leaped, and it
Neat.
turned out, yes, and it turned out to be an awesome
Now,
day.
did you work with a broker to get your license? Did they sponsor you? How did you?
So the
Was it?
way that it goes is, you know, you have to go to school, of course, and then you
Yeah.
get your real estate license. So
Hmm.
you, as a realtor, you have to work up under a broker. You can't just get into
Right.
real estate just, you know, with on your own. So
Hmm.
I went up under a broker. My broker at the time, he had at one time worked for Keller Williams, and he had worked for Keller Williams for years, and he was awesome. He was so awesome, they gave him his own franchise. And
Hmm.
so after he had done that for so many years, he branched off. And then when he branched off and opened up, you know, he opened up his own brokerage. And
Okay.
so, you know, I was tutored and mentored through him. And
Hmm.
then after so many years, because you can't just go into being a broker, you have to have so many transactions, you have
Right.
to have had so many sales, a dollar amount. And
Hmm.
once you've completed those tasks, then you can apply for a brokerage. Well, I never wanted to be a broker. I was
Hmm.
fine being a realtor. And then what happened is the gentleman that was my broker at the time, you know, he had done it for so long, he didn't want to do it anymore, which meant that I would have had to go up under someone else. And that's not something I wanted to do. So I went and took my broker's test and I passed. And then I opened up my own brokerage.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah. Yep. So
So you under his tutelage, you got enough experience, enough transactions to go ahead and take the class and take the broker's exam.
yes, correct.
Awesome.
Mhm.
What's the advantages of having being a broker as and not just a regular real estate agent?
So typically, most I would say about 90 something percent of brokers, they become brokers so that they can gain realtors underneath them.
Okay.
And with that, you train people and you get a percentage. So a broker gets a percentage of each transaction that a realtor does. So the
Right.
broker owns the transactions. The realtors do not.
Mhm.
So what happens is once a realtor closes a transaction, depending on the realtor's experience, that denotes what their commission structure is. So
Right.
it could be 90 10 they get 90%, the broker get 10%, 80 20. The broker gets 80%, they get 20%. It all depends on their experience. So new uh, realtors, like coming fresh out of school, they typically get 60 40. So the broker
64.
gets 60%, and they get 40%. As the broker, you're responsible for their training. You're responsible for their errors and omission insurance, which is called
Okay.
E&O. You're
Mhm.
responsible for that insurance. You're responsible for making sure that they're on the right track. You can give them leads. Um, you're responsible for grooming this person, the
Yes.
same way that I was groomed. So as for me, I didn't, or you can do like what I did. I just went, got my broker's license, not interested in necessarily having realtors underneath me. But
Hmm.
I have mentored a number of realtors
Okay.
um, throughout my time. But I'm what they call a loan broker. It's just me.
Loan broker. All right.
Yes.
All right. Shout out to being a loan broker. What some brokers they seem that they get involved in what is called a franchise, like Keller
Yes,
Williams or
absolutely.
XO.
Hmm.
If you get involved in a franchise, it's just that the benefits is that you have that brand identity. But do you share any of the proceeds to that franchise?
Absolutely.
Is there a franchise
Absolutely.
fee, or break that down
Absolutely.
to our audience?
So what happens is, let's just take Keller Williams for example. So just like the gentleman that was my broker at the time, he worked for Keller Williams for a number of years,
Yeah.
and he reached a status where Keller Williams said, "Okay, we want to offer you your own franchise."
Right.
So he went and opened a new office,
Uh
and
huh.
then he had realtors underneath him that worked for him.
Okay.
Well, the headquarters, the headquarter Keller Williams office, what happens is it's like a tree.
Mhm.
So you have the headquarters office, and then you have all these branches. So the headquarters office receive commission they've received the franchise fee from the owner, and then they also receive percentages from all the realtors that are underneath that owner.
Mhm.
So each franchise, they receive commissions and franchise fees from the franchisee.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a very lucrative field business um, for those that are done that way.
Yeah, and it sounds like you have your own independent company.
I have my own independent company. Yes, I do.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yes,
And you describe yourself as a loan broker.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
I wanted to get transition to because people are going to watch this and how do you build wealth with real estate, and how did you get started? I've been reading this book. This guy, I was introduced to him through Earn Your Leisure.
Mhm.
Hugh Garland. I don't know if you heard of him. You may not, but they have this book called House Hacking. Um, you may have seen it or maybe heard about it.
Yes, I have.
All right, and the author gives a strategy in terms of sequencing and buying your. If you're just getting started, you can get a certain kind of mortgage to get a first time home buyer mortgage for a multifamily up to 4 units. And his suggestion is that instead of starting with a single family, if you can start with a multifamily and have tenants, over time you can build it that way as opposed to that. What would your suggestion be as far as someone getting started? They got, maybe they have a little bit of money or whatever. What would you say? How someone can get started in real estate investing?
So there are a few different ways that you can get started. It depends on your goals and what it is that you're attempting to achieve. So you have investors that just want to purchase single family homes and then rent them out and then just have tenants. You have investors. So those initial people, those are what you call they hold. So they buy and hold. And they build what's called a portfolio. So what they're doing is they're just buying houses, and after you reach your second house, now you're building your portfolio. So they'll get that first house and then take the proceeds from that first house, and then they'll purchase a second house. Now, that can be done through purchasing cash, conventional, or FHA. Not so much FHA, because FHA have a requirement that you have to live in the house for a certain period of time. So it would basically be cash, conventional, or even land contract. So with land contract, cash is what it says. You just pay cash right out. Conventional is financing. So you get a loan from a credit union, a bank, hard money lender, and so you're financing. Land contract is where the house, you can buy the house and you only have to put sometimes $5,000 down, as low as $5,000. And you put the $5,000 down, and then you have a monthly note. Now, when you do a land contract, the benefit of doing a land contract is not credit doesn't come into play at all. At all, period. Bank statements don't come into play at all. It's just based on you putting the money down and you paying the monthly note. Now, when you do that, you're incurring it as you're buying it, meaning you're responsible for all repairs, you're responsible for taxes and insurance, and you also have an interest rate. Now, your interest rate and the note that you pay monthly, those things can be negotiated. So if I have bad credit, but I want to start building wealth through real estate, I can purchase homes through land contract. And you can purchase as many homes as you like through land contract as long as you can afford them. So let's just say, for instance, it's a house in Detroit, it's on land contract, and they want $20,000 for it. And then my note would be $500, and maybe with taxes and insurance, because with land contract, you're also responsible for taxes and insurance. So with taxes and insurance, so the land contract note is $500 with taxes and insurance. Say now it's like $700 to $800. Well, I take the house, I rehab the house, I fix it up. The city comes by, they do their inspection. I get my city certification. That's very important. You need to have your city certification, especially when you're renting. I get my city certification stating that my house is up to par. Now, my note is $500. If I've done my homework and my due diligence, say I bought a house in a strong area, I can take that house and possibly rent it out for $900. Now I have a $400 profit. So that $900 is paying that monthly note, right? And then I have the $400 profit. So that is a way of attaining wealth.
You said through land contracts.
Yes, through land contracts. Land contracts are good for people who don't have good credit. Their credit isn't good. You don't have to go through the process of what you have to go through when you go through lending institutions such as banks and credit unions.
Okay.
All right. You don't have to do that.
I want to create a scenario. Okay, so I'll use myself as a case study for the sake of this podcast. Let's say I want to get into real estate investing, and I bust down my credit cards, strip off $5,000 to start with. What can I do with that? Can I find a land contract deal, or do I need more money or something else?
So if you have $5,000, the best route I would say to go would be land contracts. Now you can also purchase multi-units on land contracts.
Oh,
So
really?
yes. So if you purchase a multi-unit, say for instance you get a two. Let's just start with a 2-unit.
2-unit, yeah. That's
Yep.
what I meant.
Say you find a 2-unit. You could do one of two things. You can live in one of the units,
Mm-hmm.
rent out the other unit, or just rent out. I mean, if you're in a position to do so, rent out both units. So
Okay.
one unit will pay your land contract payment, as well as provide you with some profit. It's so important to do your due diligence. It's so very important to do your research. That's so important. Not just go out and willy-nilly just say, okay, well, here's a land contract for 30,000, and but you haven't researched the market area. You haven't researched and make sure it's a strong rental area, because you can even rent those properties through Section 8.
Right.
But you need to do your homework to make sure that it's not just being able to get the property. You want to make sure that that property works for you and provide you the profit, or help you to maintain the goal that you're trying to achieve. So you get the 2-unit. As I said, you rent the first unit out. It pays your land contract note, and let's say you have a couple of $100 left over. But the second unit is total 100% profit. So what you're doing is you're getting this money and you want to save it.
Yeah.
And then after you get a certain amount, now you take that, go get you another land contract. And so that's total 100% profit right there.
Now, how does one get in land contracts? Is that working through a broker? Because I would know what.
Well, so you would definitely want to use a realtor, because these are the benefits of using a realtor. So you're brand new. All you know is this is something you want to do, and you've read and heard how real estate can amass you, wealth. So you contact a realtor and you say, look, I want to get into the real estate business. I want to, start, investing. So you tell them I want to invest in multi-units. I don't know what I'm doing and I'm looking for your help. Well, the realtor is the one that can tell you, first of all, find out what your goals are. So I find out what your goals are. And then I ask you, okay, well, how much do you have that you want to utilize to start investing with? You say I have $5,000. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to research properties in strong zip codes. As a realtor, I know what those strong zip codes are. When I say strong zip codes, I mean where the market value is high, where the rental market is high, because you want to take your money, you want to purchase a home, and then you want to rent the units. So not only do I want to make sure the market value is high, I want to make sure the rental market is high as well, meaning once you purchase a home, then the units will be able to rent for a strong rental amount.
Okay.
So then I'm able to do that. I'm able to run comps for you. I'm able to check the rental market in that area. I'm able to see what the houses are renting for in that area. So then what I do is I come back to you and I say, okay, Charles, this is what I found. These are the properties that I found that are in strong market value. The market value of them are strong. And also the rental value is strong. I give you the addresses. I tell you to go look at them. Now, I've already done the homework for you to let you know these are strong properties, that as far as what you have to invest. And then you look at the properties. If you like them, we schedule an appointment, and then I take you and we look at the each properties. It's so important to look at the properties because you want to see how much you'll need to invest as far as rehabbing.
Right.
Because you want to make sure that you have what you need to bring the properties up to code. You want to see what the status of the property, the condition of the property is. So that's very, very, very important. You get people that just see a property that's for sale or land contract, and they're like, oh, okay, I think that'll be a good property, and they buy it. But they don't do the homework as far as taking a contractor in with them to say, okay, how is the basement? How's the foundation? Are there any leaks? Is there mold? How's the electricity? How's the plumbing? Those things are very important, because you mess around and you just look at a house and it looks good to your eyes, but you have an inexperienced eye. That's why I tell anyone investing, make sure you take a contractor with you, someone that is experienced, that can tell you, and it doesn't cost anything for a contractor to go with you. And everyone knows someone that knows a contractor.
Okay. Great.
And then that contractor can let you know, give you an idea just by looking, without, saying, okay, I think these are the things that I think, which you may run into. This is how much I think is going to cost you to rehab this house and get it where it needs to be to bring someone in here to live.
Okay. All right. You just dropped a lot of nuggets there. So it sounds like someone who, if they have, their credit worthiness is where it needs to be. Maybe they have a history of bankruptcy, Chapter 7. That there's a route for them to still participate in the investment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've helped a number of people whose credit wasn't there. I helped them, they wanted to be investors. And so I helped them that route. I've even provided, they didn't know any contractors, because I've been in this business for so long, and because I've worked with a number of investors, I've developed relationships with contractors. So I was able to match them up with a contractor that would go and look at the house with them, with us, so that they can, eye it over and say, okay, I think this would be a good investment for you. And just by looking at it, this is just off the top of my head, this is how much I think you're going to come out of your pocket to rehab this home.
Wow. That's awesome. Yes. We're gonna take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we're gonna go into some of the biggest mistakes new investors make and how to avoid them. And we'll talk about residential versus commercial. And so we'll be right back after this quick break.
Hey, Detroit. Are you a Detroit area small business owner, entrepreneur, leader of a nonprofit organization, or a business service provider? And are you looking for ways to share your product, service, or your programs with a local Detroit audience? Let us help you increase your reach by becoming an ad sponsor with the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Our weekly video podcast is a growing local feature on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn that focuses on local business and community news. This gives you a chance to connect with local Detroit customers or clients. We offer cost-effective ads to fit your needs. Click the link to learn more about our current ad specials. And remember, connections matter. This is Charlie the Plug with the Detroit Metro Plug podcast.
Okay, we're back, and I want to highlight our sponsor for this episode. So this podcast, episode 144, is brought to you by Silas Williams of Community Choice Realty. Are you ready to unlock the door of your dream home, whether you're a first-time buyer or looking for your next perfect place? Silas Williams with Community Choice Realty Incorporated is here to make the process smooth and stress-free, with expert guidance, a personal touch, and a commitment to helping you find the right home. Silas is the realtor you can trust. You can call or text him at the number listed below, 586-251-7253, 586-251-7253, or send him an email at silas.williams@gmail.com, because your dream home is just a key turn away. All right, so we're back with our guests. For those who've been watching us, thank you for those who are watching us live. Thanks for the two loves out there. If you have a question or comment or want to chime in on this conversation, please do so. And please like, subscribe, and share with friends and family. We got to show the algorithm and social media that positive content is appreciated on these social media streets. For those who join us, we're here with Charlene Johnson, 20 plus years of real estate experience. She has her own brokerage company called Integrity Real Estate Solutions. She's been breaking down some gems, how you can start investing through land contracts. Even if your credit is not where it is up to par, and you still want to find ways to do that. So she talked about that. What are some of the biggest mistakes you think new investors have when they get into this space, and how can they avoid them?
Thinking that it's easy and that they don't have to do any type of research or due diligence. You have to do research. You have to do due diligence. And I mean, a couple of gems that we have is YouTube. Number one, you could go on YouTube and you could just type in, how do I start investing in real estate? Utilizing, you could say, land contracts, or just how do I start investing? You have Google. You can go on and you could type the same thing in Google, and it'll start breaking down things for you as far as the things that you need to know or learn or whatever. But most importantly, a lot of people feel like, and I won't say a lot, but a large percentage of people feel like they can do these things on their own. And having a realtor doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost a person anything to contact a realtor to say, I want your help. We don't charge. As a matter of fact, 99.9% of the time, the person that's trying to buy don't even have to pay. It's the person that's selling that has to pay our commission. That has changed a little bit, but mostly sellers are still paying the commission to the agents. The buyer is not, paying the commission. Like I just said, that has changed a little bit, but mostly buyers are not paying commission at all. So it takes nothing to ask for help from a realtor. We have the experience, we have the knowledge, we know how to navigate the market. Once you tell us what it is, what your goals are and what you're looking for, then we can assist you. So that's the number one problem, thinking that you can do this on your own. You have to, doing your research, partnered with a real estate. I cannot pound on that as much as I am. That is so very important. So that's the number one step. Do your due diligence, do your research.
Your research, educate yourself. Don't do it alone.
Absolutely.
Partner
Absolutely.
like yourself. Use YouTube University to research.
Absolutely. Know what you have as far as your finances. Know what you have to work with. Because if you know what you have to work with, then you know what to tell that experienced realtor. I have this amount of money. This is what I have. Is there anything that you can do for me to help me? And then working with an experienced realtor, especially investors, because they can help you on a number of different levels. So not only can I help you as far as assisting you in finding a property, I can help you as far as recommending a contractor that can help you, because 9 times out of 10, there's going to be some
Working.
of
We
rehab
have, yeah.
that's going to be needed. And that's another thing, people feeling they could do it themselves.
Right.
No, you can't. Some situations take licensed contractors, licensed plumbers, licensed electricians,
Yeah.
licensed, people when it comes to concrete working, because you have to have that house certified. And let's just speak as far as Detroit. There's some people that feel like, oh, well, I don't have to get it certified. I don't have to get a city certified. I could just do the work and then just put a person in it. Okay, you put a tenant in there, and then as soon as the tenant has a problem, they contact the city. The first thing the city is going to do is see if that house is certified.
Yes.
Now, guess what? Now you're going to have to pay fees for being negligent. Not only being negligent, now you could possibly, the city of Detroit has a program that if you're not doing what you need to do as a landlord, that tenant can stop paying you, and that money goes to the city of Detroit. Money will continue to go to the city of Detroit until you do everything you need to do. Now you have to get city certified. If you have not brought that house up to code in the manner in which you were supposed to, now you're going to be fined. So you're going to be fined in a number of different areas. So now when you got in this business to make a profit, now you're going backwards because you're losing money.
Right.
So that's where that's another major mistake that investors get into. The area of not doing their homework,
doing their homework, trying to do too much themselves. Yeah,
absolutely.
Having the right contractors and all, trying to cut corners. Yeah,
trying to cut corners. Yeah, and that will get you into a world of trouble.
Okay,
a world of trouble.
I wanted to segue. You touched on it. Let's segue commercial versus residential, and what's the opportunities there since you have that experience.
So commercial real estate is typically people that they have licensed businesses and they want to transition into a brick and mortar.
Okay.
And so in doing that, you're building wealth through the business that you have maybe had, in your home possibly. And now is grown, and now you want to transition into a building.
What about someone who, like, let's say if I want a commercial real estate that I lease out to other entrepreneurs?
Oh, absolutely. So, and you have a lot of people doing that now. So say for instance, you have businesses that don't want the overhead of owning a building or leasing a building. So there are people that buy commercial buildings, and what they do is they create spaces for businesses. So they'll create spaces for people who do hair. They'll create spaces for people that just want to rent a space just to do their business out of.
Yeah,
so
like a bakery.
Absolutely. So you have this commercial building, and say you've cut it up where you have 10 business spaces, and let's just say you rent those spaces for out as little as $3,000. Well, say your note on the building is $1,500, so you rent the space out for $3,000, and you have this $1,500 profit. That you're now making as a commercial building owner.
Yeah. What about the is it creative financing? I know we talked about residential, possibly land contracts. What about for commercial? What kind of creative financing?
So you have what you call hard money lenders.
Okay.
So with hard money lending, it's not based on your credit. It's based on what you are able to pay back. So
what's the typical term on a hard? And for our audience, this may be the first time they Here it is. What's hard money? They may think of some street stuff, you know.
No.
The money management plan, the loan shark or something. Hard money
So-
regulated, illegal. What does that mean? Where do we
So
call
hard money lending is legal.
Okay.
It's not necessarily regulated. So say for instance me. So say for instance, I have $1 million just sitting around,
Good.
right?
Okay.
I can become a hard money lender.
All right.
And in hard money lending, the percentage is much higher,
Right.
a great deal higher than if you go through a financial institution like a bank or a credit union.
Right.
So hard money lending is where the term could be shorter. Basically, hard money lenders are for people who need money quickly, can turn money over fast. So say for instance, people that flip properties, meaning they purchase the property and then flipping is that they're going to sell the property, resell the property within 30, 60, 90 days, or maybe even 120 days.
Okay.
So you have the ability to flip the property quick and repay that loan. Hard money lending is the repayment terms are shorter than what the repayment terms.
24, 2 years, 3 years, or something else. What have you seen?
Not typically. I think at the most, maybe 2 years, maybe 2
It sounds
years.
like that's.
But they're short-term period loans, very short.
If you're doing a fix
with high interest, right? With high interest rates.
Yeah.
But anyone utilizing a hard money loan know that they'll be able to flip this property, be it residential or commercial, within a short period of time where they can amass a nice large profit.
Okay.
So they can pay the hard money loan off, but still they will amass a nice profit margin.
Now, you as a hard money, you use yourself as an example. If you had $1 million and you doing hard money loans, do people have to guarantee their loan through some type of asset in case they default, or what have you seen in your experience?
Through hard money lending, there is some type of guarantee of an asset that the hard money lender can use, because they have to be able to have some type of asset just in case you default.
Yeah, and sometimes the property can be the asset.
Absolutely. And I've seen that be in a lot of cases. I've seen that be the case where a lien is put on the property that you as the person getting the hard money loan use as collateral.
Yes. Okay. All right. So we talked about hard money lending. Then there's sort of alternative banking CDIs, like I think of Invest Detroit or the Detroit Development Fund. Have you seen them do real estate deals, or they just support small business?
Yes, they do real estate deals, but they have very regulated, stringent rules. So typically your credit score has to be very strong. You have to have
what's very strong? 680, 550 or something?
680 and above.
Yeah, 680.
680 and above. And it depends on what it is that you're trying to acquire as to what your credit score needs to be. So when I say trying to acquire, as far as in dollar amount.
Okay. All right. I wanted to ask this specific question. I've been investigating with the FHA loan programs, where I wanted to was inquiring about a mixed use where 51% is residential and the rest is commercial, like a property that may have space on the first level and residential. And I understand that FHA, you can get a loan for that. Have you seen that deal done? Are you experienced yourself in that kind of? Because I've been asking some lenders and they wasn't really experienced or done deals like that. Have you done a deal like that?
Right. Typically, you would have to speak with a financial institution that are very knowledgeable in FHA lending. Your typical lender, your banking institutions, they're not, unless they specialize in FHA, it's going to have to be a lending institution that specializes in FHA.
So they do research and find out who specializes in FHA.
Exactly. And if you get, if you reach out to an experienced lender, we typically have nurtured those type of relationships because we've been in the business for so long. We've come across all type of lending institutions because all lending institutions, they're not cookie cutters. So like take me, for example, I have relationships with several lending institutions because again, like I just said, you don't have your borrowers, they're not cookie cutters. There's all types of different situations. So like say for instance, what you just mentioned, I worked with a client 2 years ago. They purchased a property and it was on Gratiot. So the upstairs part of the building was residential. The bottom was commercial. And they wanted to utilize FHA. And so FHA's guidelines are the residential usage has to be a certain.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So what you have to do in order for this to work is one of the stipulations is that you have to have leases in place. So you have to have, and this is before purchasing, but you have to have people, and I know it seems backwards, but you have to have people in place with leases that are willing, ready, and able to go into the residential sections of this building. And you have to, because you have to show that you're going to have income coming in. Right. Because that's part of what is taken into consideration. So the people that I was working with this building, they had people that were ready, willing, and able.
Now, didn't they, as a FHA, didn't they have to live in one of the units themselves?
No, they didn't.
Oh, I thought with FHA you had to.
No, but we're speaking of them buying and utilizing it as a commercial product.
Commercial product.
But with a residential aspect to it.
Okay.
Now, if you're talking about home ownership through FHA, yes, it has to be owner occupied. Okay. Meaning the owner has to live in the home for a number of years. Because it's FHA is a government-backed product.
Right, product. Sally, was it Sally and was it
Sally Mae, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae?
It sound like they some singers, R&B singers. Freddie and Sally. I don't know if they come.
Freddie, Sally, and Fannie. Don't forget Fannie. Don't forget Fannie.
Hey, it sound like they come to the same park in the summer on Wednesdays.
Yeah, you got Freddie,
I'm like,
Freddie, Fannie, and
Sally. When they drop their music. Yeah, but yeah, they that's the company.
Right.
Whatever.
And each entity does does different things. Yeah. So, but yeah. So like, and I don't remember like Freddie does this, Fannie does this, and Sally does this. But as to what you were speaking of earlier, you would when you speak with the FHA specialist, they would say, okay, well, you need to have this in place, you need to have this in place, you need to have this in place, and then bring me. So by me being a real estate broker, I was able to secure the leases. So then when it was time for them to apply, they had the leases in place, which was awesome. Okay. And that's where it comes into play with working with an experienced realtor. Right. Because just a realtor with not that much experience under their belt, they would be like, okay, well, you got to find somebody to rent it. I don't, which. Right. I'm just showing you the property.
Right.
Yeah, and it's more. It's so much more. It's so much more than that.
As we wrap things up, tell us briefly, what's the avenue in terms of getting into the Section 8 game, residential opportunities? Because you, in your bio, you said you are an expert with Section 8.
So yes. So what happens is, say for instance, you yourself, Charles, you say, well, Charlene, I want to start investing and I want to start investing with multi-units, but I want to utilize
That's
Section
what I really
8.
want to do. That's what I really
But I
want
want
to
to
do.
utilize Section 8. I say,
Exactly.
okay, fine. So then I find out Charles, how's your credit? If your credit is good, okay, we'll finance.
We got to do land contract.
Okay, okay. So we're going to do land contract. So I'm going to find you some multi-units where you can purchase through land contract. Once we do that, we get it rehabbed, and then I tell you the different outlets you need to use to find Section 8 tenants. Zillow, number one. So I show you how to market on Zillow, which is really easy and simple to find Section 8 tenants. I show you how you can market on the MLS. Well, once you market on the MLS, which is the multi-listing system, which is only available through real estate agents. When you market on the MLS, it branches out to Zillow automatically. It branches out to Zillow and other different real estate outlets. So we market on Zillow and on the MLS, and the MLS says, I'm looking for a Section 8 tenant only. And so people with vouchers, they're going to contact you and say, Charles, I have a Section 8 voucher. I like your property. I would like to come look at it. And then I groom you on the whole Section 8 process. Now you are a Section 8 landlord.
All right. And as you were talking, I shared my screen, and there you are on Zillow with your profile.
Okay.
And the audience can see that you got receipts.
Yes.
You real on these real estate streets.
Yes.
You actually have property here that you sold recently.
Yes, I've been out here a long time.
Yeah, so people can see you have a portfolio of work there. Yeah, okay. All right, so you talked about so people can do Section 8. I want to show people how they can work with you. I'm gonna share this slide here. And let's see here. There we go. So if people want to work with you, they can contact you by phone and by email, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And what's some of the services that you offer? I know I read it in my bio. They can kind of pick up. What do you specialize in? How do you work with your clients?
There's no facet of real estate that I don't touch. None, period. And not only not having the knowledge, I have a passion. I have a passion for this. I have a passion for helping people achieve their dreams, be it buying a house, selling a house, being investing. I even help people who are looking to rent or lease. My passion is across the board. I'm very knowledgeable. I'm very knowledgeable with rehabbing. I'm very knowledgeable with working with contractors. I'm very knowledgeable. I have a plethora of lenders under my belt that can help. As an entrepreneur, I have lenders that help entrepreneurs get loans. And one of the hangups with entrepreneurs have always been just dribbling.
Getting bankable, getting financing.
Right. Well, I have lenders that will get you a loan just utilizing your bank statements.
Bank statements, okay.
Yes, bank statements only.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I believe in creating networks. So I've created a network that can help anybody get in that wanting to do.
You can help me. You can help me, right?
Absolutely. At 100%.
I want 10 doors. 10 doors.
I can help you get 10 doors.
Multifamily. But the area I'm looking at is I live in Midtown, as you know, and my audience may know. I'm in my home studio in Midtown. And I've been looking at the areas Virginia Park, North End, Elijah McCoy, Core City. They've been gentrifying those places, man. There's houses that are stripped down at 200,000 as is. It looked like it needed 100,000 around work.
Yeah, but there are stronger areas. And so my job is to show you those stronger areas as well that are also gentrified. And
Okay. They
that
get in, or they are. I heard that Dan Gilbert's been buying property in Highland Park, and is it
so
the
Highland Park,
is it
has been like is coming up. It's up
yeah,
and coming. So when you see Dan Gilbert going somewhere, and there's massive opportunities in Highland Park that people are not touching. But when you see people like Dan Gilbert going in that area, that means you better start looking.
Yeah, I'm trying to,
He hasn't saturated.
Virginia Park, North End. I even the North. I live near the North End apartment, but I want to get a multifamily. Is it too late? What about? There's people selling lots over there, just like $10,000, $5,000.
Lots can be sold for $100.
But there's lots that's on sale in the North End. Is it? So you have to get a construction loan. Is it hard to get a construction loan and build property from the ground up over there? It loaning and all that stuff.
Depends on your credit score and what you bring to the table.
You got $1 million, so you can give me a hard money.
Yes. I can definitely help.
Hard money loans, Charlene Johnson.
Right.
Somebody gave a comment. Let me see. Oh, somebody asked a question for our audience. Thank you, Rosemary Sharp Moore, who's a friend of the podcast, who's been on. The question she asked is, do you have a real estate, have an insurance broker that you work with? She does insurance. She has an insurance company for home and rental insurance.
Tell her no, and please give me a call.
Right. I'm the connector, so I'm going to make sure exchange information. If I have,
let's make that happen.
If I have Rosemary, you watching, I'll forward Charlene your number. Y'all can talk and chop it up as women.
Absolutely.
And give me a finder's fee.
Absolutely.
Or whatever.
Absolutely. I would love to touch base with you, Rosemary. Absolutely, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you for watching and supporting independent media. All right, so we're going to wrap things up. Well, last question. We want to make sure people can see your contact information here. They can call you. There's your office number. There's your email if they have questions. They're trying to find a deal, trying to find renting contractors,
whatever it is.
Rosemary, you said I look forward to speaking with you. So Rosemary, okay. All right. So I'll share that information.
Great.
All right. Yeah. Well, your number is right there, Rosemary. You can text her. You can text your number right there. You can text her right now.
Sure can.
Rosemary, you can text her. Y'all can get the conversation going. Now, lastly, I wanted to. I have some friends I'm trying to gather together. We may consider doing what's your thoughts on if a group of people pool money together, form an LLC, and get going? How have you seen that done before? Or what's your thoughts on that?
That is how you gain wealth. It's in the Bible.
4 or 5 friends. We want to
one person
pull out a little bottle of money that we collect from
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's how you gain wealth. When you get like-minded people together that want to do like-minded things, that's on the same page, on the same path. And I believe in that wholeheartedly, 100%.
All right. Well, I'm going to put that out to the audience because I've interviewed, this is 144 people. I've talked to all different kinds of people that's in real estate, such as yourself.
Yes.
If anybody's looking to being a part of a group, the investment group that do real estate, let me know. I'm looking to partner. I got a few of my friends. We're talking about it. Maybe somebody here, we put our little $100 together, our little tax refund check, whatever. And then we start. We go out there, find some land contract deals, and
we can go. We can go beyond Michigan. We
go beyond Michigan.
Beyond Michigan. I have a broker's license in North Carolina. So
all right, you can help us.
We may have other people that come in that are in the group. They have licenses in other states. I mean, that's how you amass wealth. That's exactly, and real estate as well.
Yeah. Is it easier getting funding if you're an LLC and it's a group of you, or how does that normally work? What do you think?
Well, it's not a thing as easier getting funding. But
you just have to get more brains together. Is that
absolutely? Yeah. Absolutely, 100%.
Okay. How many groups are you a part of?
I am a
I
part
don't know
of
if you want to share that. You know, you may not want to share it.
about 3 or 4 groups, but
Okay.
not in the manner in which you're speaking.
Okay. You have a portfolio yourself, or you just broker deals?
No, I don't have a portfolio myself. I do not.
But you
Yeah.
you do property management and you broker
Yes.
deals. Okay.
Yes.
All right. You're the deal broker.
Yes.
I want 10 doors. I want 10 doors in 5 years. 10 doors. That means 10
That's
properties.
more than possible.
Okay.
That's more than possible.
With credit, I'm working on my credit. I've been divorced a couple times.
But you can start.
I got to start over.
You can start attaining
Okay.
doors as you work on your credit.
All right. You gave me hope. I was trying to,
absolutely. Absolutely.
I spoke with a banker at I'm putting my business out there. I spoke with a banker today at Huntington Bank, and I had to do some restructuring. So if you had to go through bankruptcy, you got to wait for a traditional loan 2 years from discharge.
Yes.
That's what all the lenders. I've been shopping lenders. I'm trying. I said, I don't believe them. Let me call. I didn't call different banks, and they said, no, 2 years, 2 years.
It's the same. It's
yeah,
the same.
I'm rebuilding from divorce. You know,
Right.
being transparent. People, I haven't, and but I still have a goal of 10 doors now.
Charles, let me tell you what I believe and what I live on.
All right.
There's no such thing as a no.
There's no.
There's always a way. You just have to find it.
Fund us, Charlene. You got $1 million. Give us a Harlem money loan.
Not a problem. Especially if I have to do a real estate. Not a problem.
There was something else. I forgot. I was going to ask you about. Oh yeah. So I'm going through this season of sacrifice because I chose not to get a car because I want to get 10 doors. But it does make it uncomfortable when I can get around pretty much. I live near my job.
Right.
I can get around. But when you tell people why you don't have a car, it's like they think something's wrong. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm trying to get 10 doors. I ain't worried about a car. I get a car. By the time I had 10 doors, I can cash out on a car, right?
Most
definitely. So I don't even care. I said I'll ride the bus, the LQ line, ride my bike.
I bought X5 BMW cashed out from when the market flipped. It's a saying that says people get rich when the market is upside down.
Right.
I cashed out on the X5 BMW.
Wow.
Real estate, I'm telling you, real estate.
I'm going to be like you when I grow up. I cashed out on a swing bike.
Real estate is one of the consistent legal paths to riches.
Okay.
All the people, 90-something% of the people that are rich did it through real estate.
Through real estate. Okay. Real estate. Legally, not busting down bricks.
Legally.
But really investing in real bricks.
Legally. Absolutely.
Not bricks on the street. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Charlene. Our show is about highlighting difference makers who are adding positive contributions to our city. You're definitely doing that with helping people obtain property, whether it's rent, lease, buy, investing. And we celebrate the positive contributions of Detroit difference makers. And so I want to thank you for your time and your expertise in sharing with the audience.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I appreciate the platform you provide. Thank you.
Yeah. Any parting words before we wrap this up?
No, I mean, know that there's an answer. It's always an answer. And whatever your dream is, never give up on your dream. There's always a way.
There's always a way.
There's always a way.
There's always an answer.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show. I hope we can collaborate. Definitely. If we get a group together, maybe you can come and give us some advice.
I would love to be a part of it.
Yes. All right. All right. So that wraps up our episode. Thanks again. Yes. So that wraps up our episode. Thanks for those who are watching. I'll be on live tomorrow with a special guest who is celebrating their 25th years of Jackets for Jobs. So special guest tomorrow in studio. I'll be live again. Please like and subscribe to the channel and support our guests. If you're looking for real estate investing, support our sponsor. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Hey everyone, this is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you.